to you from the great floodlands of Chile. That was a lot of water.
It was unreal. It was unreal. Yeah. So, hey everyone.
Hello, and welcome to the floodlands.
You might think that we're kidding, but we're not.
We're not. We had some rain a week ago, actually. The patrons already saw quite a bit of footage of this because patrons get to see lenses. I keep wanting to call them loops for some reason, but that's the candy that I like.
Patrons don't get to see those.
No. Lenses. Lenses are flicks that are only 15 seconds long, and they only live for 24 hours. So, if you're yes, if you're a patron, make sure to check in daily because these little lenses happen out of the blue. For instance, when we got hit with this incredible storm last week, I was just lensing it like crazy. So all of the patrons got to see the real-time footage of what was happening. But for all of you non-patrons and people who missed all the excitement a week ago with the flood, I made a separate video that we will show you a little bit later to give you the full experience of what it's like living here. The force of nature. The excitement. Yay!
Because what's more exciting than waking up in the morning and looking out in your backyard and seeing a river?
That's exactly how it
Literally.
happened too. We were drinking our coffee, we were about to do our exercises.
I looked at the back door and I'm like, well, that's not good.
And that's it. He said nothing else. I'm like, use words.
She's like, what? I'm just like,
Just come look.
You have to go look at it. I just walked away.
Hello.
And then we still did like our morning stretching routine and stuff like that. And then we suited up, and you'll see. Well, you'll see in a minute what we did.
You will. For those of you who are new here, this may be your first stream, or you have no idea who I am or what I'm talking about.
Who are you?
I am Lisa McCracken.
The Lisa McCracken of YouTube fame.
The Lisa McCracken. Do not
McCracken, not McCracken, right?
Do not trust YouTube's automatic subtitles. It is not McCracken, no matter how slowly I pronounce my name. Me Traken, YouTube. Stop messing up my name. I'm Lisa McCracken. This is my lovely assistant, tech support.
Hi.
And we are here to entertain you with hand puppets and coloring techniques and other amazing technology. And today is very exciting because I have my own buttons to press. I will be my own tech support, while tech support will be on vacation in a live chat with all of you lovely people.
Yes.
So let's see. For my very first button, here it goes. This one, right?
That one. Do it.
I tagged. Did everyone see that? That was a historic moment.
That was.
I tagged.
Good job.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, they can't actually even see me.
Okay, you may tag too.
There we go. Good job.
Yay! Instead of high five, we do a cat paw. If you can see my cat paw. Here, cat paw. So this is the page we'll be working with today. There are people here, right?
There are people here.
Hello people. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, that nobody's getting flooded or any other tragedy befalling you. Thank you for being here. Today we're doing coloring of stained glass glow effects on white paper. Many of you who are regulars here know that I'm a huge fan of coloring on tan-toned paper, and I usually start with white charcoal to establish the glow. However, many books, well, all books and all magazines are printed on white paper. So if you're coloring directly in a book or a magazine, you will have to deal with white paper. You don't have the privilege of printing it on toned paper. You may not be the kind of a person who likes to print PDFs, or you may just enjoy white paper and don't want to have to deal with gray or tan. So for such occasions, for such preferences, we'll be doing this today. This, of course, is based on the Tuesday tutorial that you guys had an assignment to watch. I'm going to press another button now. Watch out, it's going to happen. Yay! Another button was pressed. In a Tuesday tutorial, I worked in Coloring Heaven magazine, the Halloween edition that I was featured in. And I colored this page of mine, Cathedral Cats. And even though this particular issue is no longer available in Anthem Publishing, it is still available on Amazon. I think you can find used and new versions of this issue, but you can also find this exact page, Cathedral Cats, is available on Etsy in its original set. It's also in 2 of my books, I think. It may even be a freebie in my Facebook group, Tom, because this page is almost 3 years old, and it's also one of my most popular pages, so it's really easy to come by this page. Just show up in my Facebook group, Tom, and ask the admins. They will direct you to multiple sources where you can get this page. But in the tutorial, I colored on white paper, obviously, because the book is printed on white. And I did this with pencils, mostly Prismacolor pencils, and then I went over the whole thing with watercolor. Actually, I did pencils here on this glow effect, and then I added watercolor in the center. I did the cats completely in watercolor, and I did the background entirely in watercolor, which was really, really testing this paper. And many of you asked after the tutorial to show it a little bit closer. So you can see that on the back, you can see that it is wrinkled. It's definitely not, like, you wouldn't want to paint on the back of this. But because this book is printed on, there's nothing on the reverse, it's okay to damage the back of the page. It's not a big deal at all. But you can see that it's not even damaged. It's just wrinkled. The paint isn't actually bleeding through. Yeah. Exactly. So the page is a little bit textured now, but you can flatten it easily. I didn't bother. I kind of like the old scroll look and feel of it, and the sound that it now has. For me, I like it. I don't mind it at all. But if you really needed to flatten this out, you could certainly close it and pile a whole bunch of heavy books on it, and you would be fine. All right, button again. Yay! I'm teching. I'm all grown up. So I will.
Not.
No, I'm not. But I am teching.
No matter what she says. See? Do you see what I just did there? No matter what she says, not a grown up.
You just totally hijacked my screen.
Because I still have the power.
But I still have the pencils.
That's true. I still can't draw.
So I will start with my darkest. Well, I lied. I lie sometimes. I will start with my deepest red, which isn't my darkest color that I will use on this page, but it is my deepest color of the glass. So I will start with red on the outer perimeter, and I will start creating a gradient from red to orange to yellow. And I will start coloring it one panel at a time with a little bit of gradient on each of them. I'm going to completely disregard the outlines here, the actual frame of the glass, because I will go over the frame with a dark brown pencil in the end. So for now, I will start working with my red. This is a Prismacolor Crimson Red. I've pre-selected a few colors to choose from.
The Crimson Redders.
The Crimson Redders.
Right, if there's any Borderlands 3 nerds in the audience, you got that joke.
Yeah, Kat probably
or I guess Borderlands 2, Borderlands anything.
Kat is a pretty big Borderlands nerd if she's there. Cat Ho, that is.
Cat Ho.
So I will start working with this Crimson Red. Any kind of a deep red will work, you guys. If you know me, I am not big on pre-selecting colors. I'm not big on telling you that this is the only color that will work, because it's not. It's very personal. These colors are specific to each person, to every type of paper. For instance, the paper that I'm working on today is quite thin. I ran out of watercolor paper, tragedy. But I do have a sketch paper. So this is actually 50-pound paper, which is quite thin. This is 50-pound sketch paper. This is only a hair better than your standard letterhead printing paper that you get in your printer. So I won't be using watercolor in this because it won't survive it. It's quite thin, but I like the texture of it because it's for charcoal sketching or for graphite sketching. So while I'm adding my red, I will play a video clip for you of what our river was like. So here we go. Another button is about to be pressed. Buddy, what's going on? Did you get flooded? Did you get flooded? we all did. That right there is the river. It's usually about 6 feet lower. We're building a dam. And look at that. And there it is. The river. Hello, Picasso. Nice to see you, old dragon. And there's our house. Let's go further. I'll show you what else is up. So this happens every year. Some years worse than others. This so far is probably the worst. So, you've seen me take videos and photos in the forest. Remember that interview that I did in the forest? Well, the water level right now is about at where my head level was. This is really strong. This is the kind of that takes houses away. So we may have to evacuate. I don't actually know if you can hear me over all the noise, but I'll keep talking. Anyway, that's as far as I'll go. This is an interesting development. Hey guys. Hello. This would be a river. Hey there, wet turkey. You guys look great. You may be laughing at Kevin, but I don't look any better right now either. It is only during the times of the Great Flood when it's okay to wear a chicken feeding dish on your head. This may be a new look for me. You look like a wet dog. You, on the other hand, is still glamorous, Dusty. Well, what did you think? Fun, right? That's our river, Picasso. Our river is actually called Picasso. We didn't make it up. Actually, it's an estero, right? Estuary?
It's an estero, which means no, it's not an estuary. Estero is Spanish for stream.
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 Evidently.
On the other side is a river, which is much wider and is.
Which we didn't even show you in the video.
It doesn't threaten us at all because it's got a much wider bank. Can I jump to both of us?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Picasso, which is over here, on the other side of Picasso is a hill. And that hill, it's not very long, it's a couple kilometers long, and it's about a half a kilometer tall. So on either side of it, well, the other side of it, it joins with the other river and it's fine. But on this side of it, it's got a lot of space and it's just a narrow stream. But when it comes through the hill area, it's choked. So it rises, it goes much, much faster for just that 1 kilometer, which passes by our house, and then it opens up again on the other side. So we're not ever really in serious danger, and the river is running parallel to where you saw the wall.
Yes, and everything downriver is also significantly downhill.
Lower, flatter. So the things that we have to deal with are so much water coming through that it just rises in that choke point and spills out over into us. And that's just a matter of blocking it off and pumping it out and making sure that it's super unlikely that it's ever going to rise enough to threaten the house.
Yes, every time this happens, the neighbors say that this is the worst storm they've
They all
ever
come
seen.
together on the road and they're like, "You must evacuate, come on." We're like, "Dude, we got it. We're cool."
In 30 years that we lived here, this is the worst storm every year. To be fair, this was the highest water level that we've seen having lived here for 4 years. And every time this happens and every time it's worse than before, I'm like, well, see, now we got the worst storm checked off. From now on, it's just going to be better. All right, so as you can see, I'm quite fast in my coloring, lightning fast. So I've already done half of this circle. And what I'm doing, the reason that I'm working so fast, other than wanting to entertain you guys and show you as much progress as possible, but I also just genuinely like to work fast because I like to establish my where the colors go right away, so that after that I can start working on the details. So here I'm working on each glass pane individually, and I'm shading them all in different directions. I'm not using little circles. I'm shading, well, if I need to in these little glass panes right here, I am using little circles because they're so tiny. But on the bigger ones, I'm just shading freely, kind of like this, and on each glass in a slightly different direction, because each glass has a slightly different texture, slightly different personality, and we want that to come across in the end. So that it's not just a mandala that's colored with different colors, it's actually glass that has light coming through it. And because this paper has a little bit of tooth to it, I'm also using a Q-tip to blend it, which was an experiment. I didn't know if it was going to work, but it did quite well. So I'm using my Q-tip to blend it. Again, this is the 50-pound sketch paper from Strathmore, white, so not toned.
I'm going to switch you to full screen drawing board for a moment.
All right, go ahead. And what's happening in the chat?
Oh, I don't actually know.
Oh.
I just totally almost threw my microphone on the ground.
Oh my God.
Hold on a second.
Always drama in the studio.
Analog issues here.
So analog issues, that's usually my department. So the reason that we're starting from the outer layer instead of an inner layer, the way that I would with toned paper, is because the white is already established. With toned, I like to start with the center to do the white glow. But here, the white is already the white of the paper. And I know a lot of you work only on white. Tiffany, you're always asking me, how do I reverse the process on white paper? This tutorial is for you. This is how, while working on white, I tend to start with my brighter color and then create the gradient to the lighter color. Can you do it the other way around? Yes, you absolutely can. You can start adding yellow out of the center and then adding orange and then adding red at the end. The reason that I like to start with the brighter color is because each color that's lighter that will follow will act as a nice blender for the previous color. So when I start adding orange, which will happen shortly, as you can see, we're progressing quite quickly. When I start adding orange, I will actually add orange to this new area that's empty, but also to all of this red as well, which will make the red that much brighter. And then when I add yellow, it will spill a little bit further onto the center, but I will also spill it onto the orange side, which will make the orange a little bit vibrant. Those of you who know me know that I work with layers. And layers go a long way, not just for saturation, for color intensity, but also for a smooth gradient and for the trick of the eye. Because when we look at objects, any kind of an object, in this case, colorful glass, there are more colors at play than just one main color. Very few things, very few objects are just that one solid color. Like you look at a red apple, it's not just red. It has other tints in there. It has other tricks of the light and tricks of the eye that are happening while you're observing the object. So there might be reflections from the objects around it. It's never just one solid color. So when you create layers, some of the other colors are coming through, and even though you may not be able to see it and consciously be aware of it, your brain will be tricked and you will perceive it as a more realistic object. All right, are you in the chat now?
I'm in the chat now. We're talking about flooding, and I'm telling them that Talca got it worse than us.
Surprisingly so. Yeah, everyone's always worried about us because we're right next to the river, but it was the big town that got the worst of it because the canals couldn't handle it, and also the sewer system.
Yeah, we don't have that problem.
We don't have that problem, no.
Although if it backs up enough, we'll have the problem. We have a septic system.
Right.
I don't ever want that thing to flood.
No. So far
Yeah.
we haven't
we
haven't had that problem.
We have really good drainage, like unbelievable drainage. So
the land, he means, the land itself.
Yeah, I don't have good drainage. So I'll let you in on a little secret here. You saw, well, you didn't show them the inside of the wall where the water was, did you?
No, I didn't. I very
Right.
strategically hid that part.
Yeah, because that was my fault.
It was both of our faults. We forgot.
It was my fault. We have that wall, and then that's actually the low point of the property. So when it rains normally, all the water collects against that wall. So I put a drain in there. So there's a drain that goes down to the ground to a pipe that goes out to the riverbank. That pipe has a valve on it, and when it's supposed to rain, we're supposed to close the valve. And then we get a little bit of water that backs up inside the wall, but it's not a big deal because it literally, as soon as it stops draining, our ground is mostly sand, so it's gone.
Like that.
Except I forgot to close the valve. And so when I looked outside the house and I saw all the water in the backyard on this side of the wall, it was actually at the same level of the river because the river had risen and then it had gone through the pipe and flooded on the inside of the wall, which exists to protect us from the river. And you saw how fast it was moving, so I was not able to go out there and close the valve until much later. I
sent him in on a rope.
Yeah, once the water level dropped a little bit, I tied a rope around myself and she held it against a tree and I leaned over and tightened down the thing. Anyway, so that's the stupid part of the story. Now back to the smart person.
Hello, I'm the smart person. All right, so you may also notice that not only am I changing the direction of shading of my actual pencil strokes, but I'm playing with gradients within the glass itself. So, and I'm trying to introduce some element of randomness here. I'm not just going from darker to lighter. Like I'll pick a little glass pane right here and make it super saturated in red. And this one, for instance, I'll decide to go from darker red to lighter red. And of course that you do with pressure. I'm applying more pressure and more layers to the areas that I want to be more saturated. And I'm barely touching the paper, and I'm touching it very quickly in the parts that are lighter. And of course, because I have my trusty Q-tip, I don't have to worry about very smooth gradients all that much because I can just smooth it out this way, and that's quite fast. Actually, on this paper, this is working beautifully. I didn't have much faith in this paper because honestly, I've never used it for coloring. I only ever use it for sketching. I use it a lot in my private lessons now. In fact, Lori will be working on this paper tomorrow. But I didn't know if the pencils were going to work well on this. I experiment a lot, and I experiment a lot in real time. So sometimes you guys see me try things out for the very first time live on air like I'm doing right now. And I'm a big fan of that because I want you guys to experience what I'm experiencing. You know, if something doesn't go well, I think that's also important. And it's important for you to see how I deal with it and how I may adjust to it or scrap it and start something new. Like, art is not perfect. Sometimes things work out the way you imagine they will, and sometimes they don't. And that's fine. That's all part of the journey. It's all part of learning. And a lot of times when accidents happen, when something isn't going the way that I was expecting it to, a new effect comes into play, and new effect that I didn't expect that's actually really cool. And when that happens, you know, that's the learning process. That's the evolution of your art. And then you try to recreate that in a safe environment again, on a controlled environment, on a different art piece, and there you go. You've created a new effect that's now personally yours. Like all of these tricks that I have, white charcoal on toned paper, Q-tips, all of these things came out of this kind of just playing with what I have. You know, a lot of you send me questions asking if so-and-so will work with so-and-so. And my first response is usually, well, have you tried it? You know, if you actually have those tools, if you have those materials, then certainly try it on scrap paper. You know, if you're asking if you should invest in a certain type of pencil, if it will work on a certain type of paper, then certainly I'm happy to answer those questions for you before you spend a whole bunch of money on something that you may not even ever use. But if you have the materials, like if you have colored pencils and watercolor, there's no reason for you not to try different combinations of them on different paper, in different order, on just scrap paper. You don't have to kill your nice coloring pages. You can just doodle something or print something from, I don't know, Google Images or clip art or whatever, and just play, and create a sandbox where you're just trying different effects. Is there anything in the chat that I need to address? Are you guys still talking about floods and
talking about floods and living in Chile and how, you know, there's a little bit of floods in the winter and a little bit of fires in the summer, but other than that, it's pretty nice.
A little bit of fires.
A little bit of fires.
You guys have seen those videos as well, about the little fires that we get in the summer.
MC wants to know why we chose Chile. Do you want to answer that?
I think you should answer that. I'll give my voice a break. I've
Okay.
been talking for a while. You can have the screen.
I just took it. It's not really a glamorous story. We lived
It's kind of glamorous.
It's once upon a time, there was a girl from the Bronx. We lived in Europe for 3 years. We met in New York. We lived in New York for a bunch of years. She lived in New York most of her life. And I had a company with an office in Poland, and I was going back and forth, and then we ended up just moving over there. We lived there for 3 years, and then we moved back to the US for a couple of years. Having lived outside of the United States, it was kind of weird living back in the United States. It was just different. And so after a couple of years, we decided we wanted to go live somewhere else. We didn't want to go back to Europe. We didn't want to go to Asia.
We checked out Australia, though. We did want to try Australia, but I think there was something with our passports or whatever that didn't really work for our work and other stuff. But
I didn't particularly want to live in Central or South America, either Latin America. But Chile's kind of different. Like, from the United States, all you hear about are like, kidnappings in Colombia, and, economic collapse in Argentina and Venezuela, and like whatever. But Chile's weird. Chile's isolated from the rest of Latin America by the Andes Mountains. It's just this little narrow strip of land, and it's kind of like, the cousin of the United States. So it's a very well-developed, free market, democratic, or at least not laissez-faire, but the government generally leaves the people alone, which is not normally the case for a Latin American country.
right.
We knew some people down here, so we came down, checked it out, saw that it's pretty much like living anywhere else. Misjudged the cost of living. It's actually a lot more expensive than we planned for it to be, but we deal with that, and that's it. So we moved down here.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Ta-da! And then we met our dogs, who are Chilean street dogs, and now we're hooked.
We literally made a list of countries where we were willing to live and things that we wanted in a country, and then we just drew lines between them, and Chile had the most lines. So we're like, okay, let's go. We packed up all our stuff, sold some of it, gave a lot of it away. So,
Yeah, before we realized that we shouldn't have like the technology.
yeah, Chile's on a 220 volt system, and everything in the U.S. was 110, and I was misinformed that you can't convert 110 to 220, but with a lot of devices you can. So I had thousands and thousands of dollars of audio equipment that I basically just gave away.
Yeah.
And I bought it all again. That's my story. Don't be like me.
The tragic side of moving to a different country. There's always something unexpected. You can't plan for it.
I had a really nice set of Stanton turntables, a pair of them, because I was a DJ, and I gave those away.
You just gave those away.
I sort of traded them for a pair of Technics 1200s.
Would you hate it?
I hate them.
You hate Technics.
Anybody here who's a DJ, like, Techniques are supposed to be, oh, they're the most amazing turntables ever, all DJs listen. They're crap. I really don't like my Techniques. I really miss my Stantons.
You still have your Techniques?
Yeah, they're in the container.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you use them.
No, I don't like them.
You hate them.
That's my other story. Now back to her.
Okay, I've completed my red layer, and now I'm going to press another button.
What are you going to press?
I want the 3 picture screen.
Oh, split both.
Split both. Yay! I did it. And now, okay, for my next trick. Ta-da! I made a picture of here. Okay, I think that deserves some thumbs up for my video if I'm doing my own teching. What do you think?
Yeah, if you liked Lisa doing her own tech stuff in the video, if you like that tech support's able to actually pay attention in the chat, give the video a thumbs up.
And if you don't, give it the thumbs down, but twice. All right, so I've pulled up the picture of the cathedral cats from the magazine that I showed you in the beginning of the show that you guys saw the tutorial on. So I just pulled it up for a reference because the actual stained glass is different. I drew a new picture for this experiment. The one with the cathedral cats is more linear towards the center. The design itself had leading lines going to the very center, whereas this is more of a flower mandala. So it has more circular patterns and more leaf-like or petal-like patterns. So I'm not going to work with these leading lines going into the center like I did with the cathedral cats. Instead, I will use more gradients, but still with the same strategy of red on the outside, orange in the center, yellow closer to the center, and the very center being white. So now for my second layer, I'm adding orange. The orange that I found is burnt orange from the Scorpion set of Black Widows. Prismacolors has a huge range of beautiful oranges. The orange that's just called orange is fine to use here. Any other kind of carrot orange is good from the Black Widow set as well. I often mix my Black Widows and Prismacolors on canvas as I'm working. They work really beautifully together. So they're my 2 favorite sets still, even though I keep trying to decide which one I like better, Prismacolor or Black Widow. I even did a video comparing Prismacolor and Black Widow. And I love them both. I love them both for slightly different reasons, but I love them both together. I kept doing my comparisons. I kept doing my testing, and I cannot, I can't choose between them. I don't think I should. I think I'm getting the best of both worlds when I'm working with the 2 of them together. And because they're just so friendly with layering one on top of the other, it doesn't take away from the other pencil. In fact, they enhance each other. And some colors, you work with a certain set, you get your favorites. Like I have this chartreuse, which we will also use later. This is the chartreuse from the Prismacolor set. I'm really hooked on this pencil now. Like I can't find a comparison anywhere else. So that's the one that I'll be using. Even though they're beautiful yellow colors in the Black Widow set. Same thing with the red. I used up a lot of the red in my Black Widow set. So I'm using the ones from the Prismacolor set because they're quite lovely colors as well. So no leading lines here, just gradients. And you see that I'm adding a little bit of orange to the parts that are uncolored, to the white parts. And then I'm going over everything that I colored with red. I'm going over all of it, and some parts darker and some parts lighter. And you can see how this part is already so much more vibrant than just the red that I added. Even though the pencil is very vibrant, these are extremely good pencils, some of the best out there. But layers, they do magic to your coloring. So don't rush these things. Take as long as you need. Again, I'm working really fast, but for purposes of teaching, I want to end this lesson with an actual stained glass window completed, and you guys can rewatch it because all of these videos, they remain recorded, they remain on YouTube. You can always go back and watch these lessons again, play them back at your own speed, pause where you have to, zoom in, zoom out. But take your time. If it takes you a week to color this, there's nothing wrong with that. If you do one panel every day, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, we each have our own speeds. We each have our own preferred way of coloring. If you don't like to go fast, if you would rather spend more time, like get a reference photo and actually try to match the colors of a stained glass that you found online, go for it. But do invest in layers. I highly, highly recommend it for the sheer intensity of colors. You are mad typing. Tell me a story. Who's there?
No.
No, what do you mean no? What is
They're
this?
chatting with me.
You guys are like, I'm talking to myself again. You're like having your own little discussion.
There are lots of people listening in the chat, or listening in the stream to what you're teaching. And then there's a handful of us. Emily and I are nerding out on 2-core versus 6-core computers and RAM for streaming. And Emily just got a 6-button stream deck. And
really?
Yeah, she's super excited.
Oh, I love the buttons. I love them. Oh my God, it's incredible. The buttons are my new friends. Okay, then I will just keep working.
Do you want to say hi to people?
With my orange. Yes, let's say hi to people because I'm just going to continue with this layer until it is done.
Evelyn's here.
Hello. Hi.
Emily Illustrator.
Is Riggs here?
Riggs is sleeping. He was at doggy daycare.
Oh.
She'll play the stream back for him later.
Okay.
But we don't want to wake him up, so we're not gonna.
Oh, okay.
We're not
gonna do it. Okay. Who else is here?
Emily Illustrator is here.
Hi, Emily.
MC.
Hello.
Iselina.
Hello.
Lori, of course. Madam Lori.
Madam Lori.
Lori, Madam Lori.
Lori, Madam Lori.
Lord of Madam Lord. Lords. Diane is here.
Hello, Dan.
Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
Nightbot.
Nightbot. Hello.
Shell Artie.
Hi, welcome. Shell already has her own YouTube stream, YouTube channel. I posted her link in my Facebook group earlier today. Was it yesterday? These days are really weird. I can't tell time at all, or days, or months. So recently, I posted a link to Shell Artie's amazing YouTube channel. She's an incredible colorist, and she's trying to get her subscriber count up. So do visit her channel and give her some love because she will be joining us for Spooktober Spooktacular. She will be one of the streamers. So we're trying to get her channel all pumped up for the occasion.
Fern is here.
Hi.
Kelly S.
Hi.
Color me a pink monkey.
That's a new one. I don't know you. I like your name though.
Color Me a Pink Monkey was asking if you have PDFs, and Cindy said you have them on Etsy, and then also...
Yes, and this page...
Or Iselina said you have them on Etsy, but Cindy said this is in Tom, right?
This is in Tom, correct. This is a free page. That's a free gift for you guys. It should be up as one of the most recent posts. But
we have several Kellys here.
We have several Kellys here.
More Kellys.
More Kellys.
Bev is here.
Hello, Bev.
Scrolling back through the chat. So Lori, hi. Madam Lori.
Right.
Madam Lori wants to know why her box is still in limbo.
Oh, your box will be in limbo for a while, unfortunately. And all of your box is in limbo as well. My box is in limbo. All the boxes are in limbo. I have a whole stack of things that need to go out outside of Chile that unfortunately are stuck because Chile's borders are closed.
Yep, Chile's borders are completely closed. The only way that we're able to get stuff into the country is I pay an exorbitant amount of shipping to ship it to the freight forwarding service in Miami that is actually owned by a Chilean company. And they stick that stuff on Chilean jets, which are still flying for some reason, and they are able to bring it in. But standard mail...
But it's ridiculously expensive.
We
won't be able to send pictures and pencils that way.
No.
It's for emergencies and special occasions. So certainly not. Certainly none of my clients will pay the kind of a shipping on an item that costs $100.
It's only inbound. That's also
Oh,
Lisa,
yeah, I
Lisa
can't
couldn't
actually
use
send
that to ship
anything.
stuff back out. We could ship stuff out with Chili Express, but it'll be like $200 to ship anything anywhere.
Yeah, and probably the contents of the box are less than that.
So you don't want that. So
Yeah.
Lori, we understand that the box that you sent is still stuck in Chicago. And there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But we do believe that it's safe. We think that things
It's totally
will just
Yeah.
return to its regular function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned in the chat that you have a set of widows coming.
Yes, and she was wondering how.
She was wondering how when her box is still in limbo. Yeah, we
Magic.
think those came from Albert, right?
Yes, we gave Albert the Miami address.
Yeah, so Albert sent them to Miami, and honestly, I wasn't super excited with what I had to pay to ship them into Chile, but it is what it is.
But I want them. They're special. And I'm running kind of low.
And it's an emergency.
And it's an
I don't know
emergency.
if you saw the look I gave her when she said like emergency stuff. It's like technology.
Oh.
It's not. There's no emergency stuff.
I didn't see the look.
No, it's camera equipment.
Camera. No, just camera.
For technology for me. It's, stuff to make the stream better.
Yeah. Emergency. So you guys see how the orange totally made the red so much brighter. And also, because I've been creating gradients to begin with on the red, now introducing the orange in some parts where the gradients were lighter, the orange is speak is hard, I know. Where the gradient was lighter, the orange is now taking over, and you can see that there like slight discolorations, a little bit play in the light already. So you definitely want that. You don't want to just fill these in with solid blocks of color. You want to create these gradients. And I cannot stress this enough, keep it random, consistently random. As you can see, the main gradient is consistent all around, but within the gradient, there's randomness in each panel. So I don't want to be too confusing. All right, what else? Does anyone have any questions for me other than where's Lori's box?
Now they're talking about how they want Black Widows.
Black Widows are most excellent. And 48, the new set, is finally coming out at the end of this month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shell is it's funny. Shell is honored, but the original statement was highly homered.
Highly homered.
I can't do a Homer Simpson impression. I would if I could.
Highly homered.
Highly homered to be a streamer for the event.
We too are homered to have you with us.
Oh! That's the best I can do.
Yes, we are very excited. We're always excited to meet new people, and especially excited to have found Shell because she's such an extremely talented colorist. So definitely, if you have not seen her coloring yet, she is getting seriously into live streaming these days. She has had her channel for a while, but has not been very active on it with live streaming. But this is all about to change. So stay notified, stay posted.
Excuse me while I reboot.
Do read the announcements in my Facebook group for cool things that are happening on YouTube.
All right, we got questions coming in.
All right.
First of all, Belinda's here.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. Belinda. I have news about Belinda as well. Belinda is doing an amazing coloring of a page that someone we all know and love drew just for her. Someone that me drew just for Belinda. And that is the Captain Marvel page. If you have not yet collected your Captain Marvel page, it is a free page for everyone, everywhere. I misplaced my pencil. Sorry. It is a free page in my Facebook group. It's a free page in Belinda's Facebook group. And for those of you who don't believe in Facebook, this page is also free on my Patreon page, because on Patreon I can make posts that patrons of different tiers can see, that all patrons can see, or images that are free for everyone to see. So that page is actually a freebie for anyone who comes to my Patreon page without even having an account.
That's cool.
So that's the easiest way to get that page. And of course, the links to my group, Belinda's channel, and my Patreon page are in the video description below. So do always check out the video description of every video, because there are a lot of cool links there and a lot of cool information, especially if you missed part of the show and you need to look something up. And I have another button. That is the page. That's the page that Belinda and I are both working on. And I will be coloring it as well. Belinda is doing a live show every week. She did her first show last week. It was amazing. I was there the whole time. I'll be there for all of them. And I think she's doing 5 shows on this page where she's doing live coloring. And Belinda is, of course, amazing at skin tone coloring. It's one of her best traits. Her strongest coloring technique is skin tone coloring. And this is a very difficult page. I based it on that photo that you see on the right of Captain Marvel. And it's very difficult lighting. Not only is her hair glowing, she has this very dramatic lighting from the hair itself and from ambient lighting around her face. So she has the darkest shadow in the middle. It's a very difficult look to achieve, but Belinda is taking us step by step through that, and it looks like this. This is what she has already done. This is just in the first session. It already looks amazing. So 4 more weeks, I can't even imagine it's gonna look exactly like the real thing. So that was, of course, and still is, you can see on the bottom there is the link to Belinda's channel, and that link is also in the video description. So if you guys want to play along and color that page, grab your copies and follow Belinda. I haven't colored mine yet because I want to see what she does. So I'm going to wait until she's done. Because I know I'm going to color it and then I'll watch her channel and I'll be like, oh, I wish I had thought of that. So I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to do it my way and be like, ta-da, I would have done it this way anyway. That's my plan. Do you like it?
You're supposed to tell them your plan. You're supposed to do it.
I get very excited. I think I will do mine in watercolor if I find watercolor paper, because I think sometimes I go on these weird like mental blocks where I believe that I have some supplies hidden somewhere in the house, and then I go digging for them because I'm like, I believe I have it.
Like a crackhead.
Like the other day.
Hear all this like stuff flying around and rustle and like boxes moving, and I come in and she's tearing apart the other studio, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like, I know I have it. I know I
have a pencil. And she's like, look what I found. I don't even know what that is. It's amazing.
It was white charcoal, dude. It's like crack. I need it. And I found a whole box of it. So, I mean, especially now that I can't get stuff into the country anymore.
She needs it more.
Thank God for all the stuff that you guys sent in. It's like I'm able to run these shows because I have all that stuff that you guys sent in, and it's enough to get me through the storm. So thank you again so much, everyone who's been sending me supplies before the madness began. So I'm working with yellow now. I chose my brightest yellow that I could find. This is Canary Yellow from the Prismacolor set. Actually, markers would work here beautifully. I know a lot of colorists who use markers with pencils or just markers to achieve amazing blending. And I think here it would work beautifully as well, especially on the yellow layer where you go from yellow to orange. I think markers would also work very nicely. So again, same exact strategy. I'm going to add a ring of yellow here, not all the way to the center, but very bright. I want this yellow to be my most vivid color. So I'm adding it quite generously, but I'm also spilling onto the orange. I probably won't take yellow all the way to the edges. I don't think it's necessary, but we'll see. Yellow over red is also a very nice effect. And actually, orange isn't even needed here. You can achieve this entire effect and color this entire stained glass window with just 2 pencils, with red and yellow, because red mixed with yellow is, of course, orange. So if you're very good at your gradients, if you can create really smooth gradients and be very, very patient, you can literally color this entire page with just 2 pencils. But I like to add more colors for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier, for the buildup of the layers, so that you really get that depth in the colors. All right. Anything else? Any other questions for me, or any other guests that need shout outs?
YouTube is complaining that our connection isn't as good as it should be.
It always is, though, but then it's never a problem.
Well,
are we having a problem?
No, we're not having a problem. It just
if we are, let us know.
No, it says it doesn't say. I like when YouTube says excellent connection.
Oh,
it makes me feel good.
And
now it says good connection.
Oh.
Like only YouTube could tell you you're doing a good job and make you feel bad. Good job. Good job. Not excellent job. Good.
Is it satisfactory connection?
Yeah, satisfactory.
Acceptable.
Maybe.
Was it a workout app that you had that was like totally unsupportive? It was like you did an acceptable job today. Something like that. Like, that's not encouraging at all. Not like, great job, keep it up. No, it's like, this was acceptable. Keep going. The other thing that you guys may have noticed is that I'm going over these glass frames. I'm not ignoring them. I'm not trying to color around them. I'm just going over them. The paper isn't smudging at all, so the printing ink, the printer ink that I used to actually print this page is not smudging from the coloring. So that's a nice benefit, because I don't have that setback of having my ink smudge. I can just color right over it. And the reason I'm coloring over it so freely is because I'm going to go over them with a dark brown and purple to make the frames really stand out against the glow. And then, like I said, I'm not going to test watercolor on this paper, because I'm convinced that it's not going to work. It's just going to be too much water damage on this page. It's too thin for watercolor, but you could use acrylic paint if you want to add more white paint to the center and really take out most of these outlines.
Excellent connection!
Excellent connection! Yay!
It's not my fault. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, please do tell us more about how it's not your fault.
Well, as I was just telling Emily Illustrator in the chat, we have two lines. We're wireless. I'm 4G when it works. I mean, if it's 3G, it's whatever. Anyway, we're 4G. And I don't really like our provider, but they're the only one I can get 4G signal from out here. I have two lines, each of which is 15 megabits down, 5 megabits up generally, but they do shenanigans on it. And so I load balance the traffic, and I do everything I can to optimize my traffic going out to them. But once it gets to them, I have no idea what happens. I don't know what they do with it. They do stupid things with their network. I was an internet engineer. I still am an internet engineer. I know exactly what's wrong with their network. And
he's tech support.
And I can't get them to fix it. Plus, between here and the United States, all YouTube servers are, well, the reliable ones are in the United States. So I don't stream through Sao Paulo, which is in Brazil. When we use Restream, we connect through Miami, because that's usually pretty fast. Tonight, we're actually going directly to YouTube. But I don't control what happens once it leaves my house. I am, however, trying really hard to get a company. There are a lot of wireless ISPs out here, but just where we are, because of that hill, we don't have good signal to anybody except this one provider, their cellular provider. I want to build a tower. I want to put a 150-foot tower on the property, and with a 150-foot tower, I can see this hill that's on the other side of Talca, where they have all of these telecommunications antennas, and I know that I can get really good signal. I can put two Infinity or Ubiquity air fiber antennas up. I can get 450 megabits a second. I can be my own ISP. I can do all of it.
But you need a tower.
But I need a tower. And so I had a friend of mine contact this company to call them and say, I want to buy service and I want to put a tower on. And they say, oh, well, where you are, you can't have service without a tower. And my friend is like, I know. He wants
a tower.
He wants to pay you to install a tower. And they're like, no, you need a tower. No, he's going to pay you for a tower.
Welcome to Chile.
You know, like it's as though they don't believe that maybe they think that I think that a tower costs like $50. I know what a tower costs. I'm willing to spend that to have
for
good
the
internet.
Freedom
because this is everything we do.
Yes.
And they're like,
this is our work.
maybe we'll come out and talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm waving money at them.
They
I'm like, who wants my money?
Right.
And they're like,
Yeah, they think it can't be real. Well, dude, I spent like an entire day a couple of weeks ago convincing Madame Lori that you actually want a real tower. She was like,
Because
no, but
normal people don't do this.
it's like just
Like,
wishful thinking, right? I'm like, no, he really wants a tower.
No. You drive around, you see those big towers
I sent her
with the
pictures. She
cellular
believes me
antennas on
now.
top of them. I will install one of those in my field.
And we'll put up a flag.
And we'll put a flag on it, and I will climb up to the top of it, and I will scream to the heavens. Strapped in, of course.
Of course.
And I will get my internet.
Yes.
That's internet. Reliable internet is the second to the last thing that we need. We need 10 more solar
Power.
panels. We have all the solar stuff, but still, when the power goes out in the area, after 2 hours, the cell towers start shutting down.
Yes, some of the patrons know about that as well.
So even though we have power, I have batteries and solar and stuff, there's still no internet outside of my control. I don't like things outside of my control interrupting my universe. Go figure. Nobody would have guessed that one, huh?
Right?
Tower. It's gonna happen.
It is. It's going to happen. Okay. So I've not only added my yellow, but I also started going over.
Emily, truth. Emily says we also need a postal service. That'll come next.
Yeah, just keep.
I'll start working on my
keep rubbing
my
it in.
transporter system.
Belinda was doing an unboxing the other day. Like literally, the mail came as she was doing the stream, and all these amazing gifts came to her. And I'm like, huh, mail. You know, I've heard of it. It's been months and months since I was able to receive a package from someone. One day, it will happen again. Yes, we do need postal service. Oh well. In the absence of postal service, the digital stuff is working out really well, actually. I used to send out a lot of original work to people. Some of my patrons get original work. Sometimes I would make an original coloring or drawing of mine a gift or a prize.
Sam's here.
Sam's here!
I haven't seen Sam in forever.
Sam is on the road, officially. She's on her walkabout.
And she's talking about having signal. I totally interrupted you again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no.
I am the internet. I am the lack of attention.
No, tell me all about Sam. Where is she? How is
Sam
she
says,
doing?
when I was traveling, I barely had signal unless we were in a town, so I realized we need a bloody tower too. I checked out satellite internet, and it's so expensive. Okay, this Starlink, whatever this thing that SpaceX, Elon, whatever that Musk dude is doing. First of all, it's a terrible project, but we can't stop it. The Starlink satellite.
It is terrible.
Starlink satellite network is going to destroy any amateur astronomy. Like you're going to look at stars, and it's just going to be things moving across the sky.
Yeah, geometrically perfect things.
Yeah.
Perfectly
So say
organized.
goodbye to being part of the astronomy club. We can't stop it. They're a bunch of whatever. They're a bunch of what they are. However, once it's up and running, that is a viable option. Right now, satellite internet is not viable because the satellites are so far away from the planet that just the speed of light to get out there and get back is worse latency than what you get traversing from like the west coast of the United States all the way to the European Union over fiber optic cables. It's just terrible. And there's asynchronous upload and download speeds. So satellite internet just isn't really viable. But the Starlink satellites are going to be at a much lower altitude, and there's going to be a whole lot more of them, and they'll be able to do relay between satellites. So you're not going to go from the ground to a satellite to the ground and then back off through the ground again. You're going to go from the ground to a lower satellite that's then going to calculate what your destination is and beam it through space. Light travels faster through space than it does through fiber optic cables or air or anything that, I mean, light is light, it's pretty fast, but a little bit faster helps.
Right.
So once Starlink is up and running, that's a totally viable option. Even though...
It makes me sad though.
Yeah.
It genuinely makes me sad. Like
they destroyed the sky.
I had tears in my eyes when I found out about this.
Did you really?
I did. I really did.
I'm going to have a talk with that man. I'm going to find him and I'm going to be like, you made my wife cry.
He does this. If somebody makes me cry, he does show up out
And
of
I
the
talk
blue.
with them.
And
I help them understand.
And he says that exact phrase, "You made my wife cry," and
made
it's
my
the
wife
last
cry.
thing they hear.
Yeah, and then I just sit there. I'm like, you made my wife cry.
And then whatever it is that they needed
it's
to
like-
do is done.
Yeah, I give them a few moments to think about what they've done,
You made
then-
my wife cry.
and then we begin to negotiate. How can we solve this problem?
So you can't uncry her. Like the crying wife has already happened.
Yeah.
The damage has been done. All right, so what I've done here is I've added a little bit of white charcoal in the center just because I can't resist. I'm a crackhead. I'm addicted to white charcoal.
Somebody's gonna take just that,
And
that's
they're
it. That's
gonna
it.
be like,
That's
"I'm a
it. You're
crackhead."
done. Yeah. Once you're big and famous and stuff, they're just gonna have that one little
Yep.
snippet from your stream and be like,
I'm a crackhead with that face on. I'm a
crackhead.
crackhead. I need my crack. Good thing the lenses only live for 24 hours because there was that one with the box of crack with the white charcoal. I was like, I have it. It's crack. It's crack.
Oh, they were talking about that in the chat too.
Oh, they remember.
Yeah.
They remember everything. So because I'm a crackhead, I added this white charcoal in the center just to eliminate a little bit of the outlines, but not entirely. We do still want to see them. I just want them to be a little bit fogged over with the white light. So I'm not using white gel pens to completely eliminate the outlines. Instead, I will use darker pencils to make the outlines here darker. So by contrast, the center will appear brighter. And now I'm using my favorite chartreuse color to blend the yellow with the white. Very fast shading just here and there to see where things need to be smoothed out. And also the chartreuse, of course, is a much brighter yellow. It's like a lemon yellow, I would say. So it's also...
Is that what you would say?
that is what I would say. I would say
I would say that's a lemon yellow.
lemon
Yeah, that's a
yellow.
lemon yellow. That's what I would say. She's gonna beat me later.
I might.
Beat me with white charcoal.
No, it's valuable. It's too valuable. All right. And now the red to orange to yellow gradient is done. How are we on time? Oh, we did an hour.
You
but
go
we'll
until you're done.
We'll do a little bit more. Now for my favorite trick of mostly all, I will use my dark purple. This is actually called dark purple. This is from the Prismacolor set. This is literally my favorite pencil on the Prismacolor set. And I will use this dark purple over red just in parts to make the red a little bit brighter. So I went in two directions. I added orange and yellow to the red to make it vibrant, but now I'm adding purple to the darker parts of it to make it really rich. And this is especially important for glass effects because we want that difference for high contrast. And I will also be using the same dark purple to go over these lines over here to start adding my frames. And I keep looking off screen because I have a preview window right under where I'm looking at you guys. So I'm not really a crackhead. There's a picture there that I'm looking at. You don't believe me?
It's a box of white charcoal over there that keeps looking at. Like, when you finish the stream, I'll give you another piece of charcoal.
Never mind.
Okay, let me get back.
Is it raining?
It just started raining
Does
again.
it start raining?
Yeah, so it's like somebody turned on the shower.
Okay, tomorrow you'll get another video of the river.
No.
Oh, I don't think I told you guys. I wanted to tell you.
Everyone says you're a charcoal head.
Charcoal.
Charcoal head.
It's catchy. I like it.
Yeah.
Charcoal head. You know, I'll need to draw it. I wanted to tell you after we saw the video clip of the river. I realized watching it this time that I say, and now the river looks like this. I didn't actually put a date or a time frame there. I should have said 2 days later or something.
Right.
But I just said, and now. Because today it makes sense, but if you watch this 2 weeks from now or a month from now or a year from now, it doesn't actually make any sense. And it's because it wasn't meant to be a separate video clip. It was supposed to be just a quick clip for you guys for the show, but I got carried away and turned it into a little movie.
She does that.
I do that. I do get carried away.
She's like, I was gonna make a 30-second clip, and now it's a 15-minute tutorial.
Yeah, it happens. I can't control it. That's the reason that it happened, and now I can't edit it, but I'll probably put something in the description because it's actually up as an unlisted video as well. So if you want to just watch our beautiful flood again, there's a link to that video in the description. But it is unlisted, so you won't be able to just find it on the channel. You have to follow the link.
I keep knocking my microphone off. I have to move
Did you
that.
just throw your microphone on the ground?
Well, I don't know what's happening over here, but it keeps popping off my belt. I think this has something to do with the fact that like my belt is strangely tighter than it used to be.
They shrink over time. You know, I hear that
It's like
happens.
I put all my clothes in the closet and I take them out and they don't fit anymore.
He's like, all my clothes shrunk.
Did you change the detergent?
Why is the ice cream gone?
Cindy would like to know if this window is from the Halloween bats, changing the subject. Is this window from the Halloween bats?
It's not. It's a brand new one that I drew, but it's very similar. I think, I mean, these are based on actual rose window designs. So this window is an official rose window design that they use in churches. So I may have used the same kind of pattern for cathedral bats. It does feel very familiar coloring it. I think in cathedral bats we had little windows that were actually like a 4-petal, like a clover kind of a thing, and then we also had a smaller circle in the center. So it's very, very similar, but I think it's a little bit different. What else?
Now they're helping me understand what it is that causes clothes to shrink. It's like the high humidity in the closet. So that's right. I think it's just that if you don't wear them for long enough, because of course we're all on lockdown, so most of the time I'm wearing like scrubs and boxer shorts and stuff. So I think the clothes just feel neglected. And you're like,
right.
yeah, watch this.
They get sad and
they
they
get sad,
shrink.
and then the thread tightens up if you don't stretch them out. I don't know. Lori says, don't forget her sneak peek.
Oh, who's impatient? I will not. I have it here.
Lori, she's excited.
She is very excited. Lori is going to have her very first private lesson tomorrow morning. So right after this show, we'll be setting up for Lori's lesson for tomorrow. Lori is a Dragon Fox patron, and my Dragon Fox patrons get free monthly lesson one-on-one with me, and each one of my Dragon Foxes is on her own journey. The lessons are tailored for each Dragon Fox. For instance, Evelyn and I are doing the cat and the gargoyle picture that you guys have seen all over Facebook and Instagram. I drew that picture just for her based on a story that she told me, and we're doing coloring of different textures together, and talking about cats and other cool things. And my other Dragon Fox, Cassandra, and I are doing wolf studies. I'm teaching her how to draw wolves. We had a lesson a couple of days ago, and it was incredible. She showed me some of the drawings that she's already done, and they're just spectacular. Like, nothing makes me happier than seeing students actually create the stuff that I'm teaching them. I'm like, it worked! It totally worked! It's such an amazing feeling. So
I had the same feeling when I was teaching people martial arts, but their ability to demonstrate their skills was different. They'd be like, I got mugged and I totally kicked his ass. Oh, can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah!
But it's the same feeling. I totally understand. Like, I saw Cassandra's wolves this morning, and I'm just like, they're amazing. It makes me very happy. So tomorrow, Lori and I start on a journey of drawing apples. She has been obsessing over apples for a while now, since my picture tutorial that I made on apple studies that's up on my website. But I've created some new things for Lori. She has also been tormenting me with, please send me the original apple study so I can laminate it. Just send me the apple study. And I put my foot down. I'm like, no, woman, I will not send it to you, because you cannot be trusted. You will laminate it, and then you will start to copy it, and you will try to do things without the guidance that I have prepared for you, without following the correct steps. And I didn't want her to fall down this rabbit hole of...
It's really hard to unlearn things.
Exactly. Like, if you do it incorrectly, for the wrong reasons, you may actually develop the muscle memory that is not the path that you need to be on. So instead, I drew you a better study. So I actually kind of lied to you, but it's a white lie. It's all good. We will be working with photography, but not from photography. So it's a little alteration of the truth, not entirely a lie. But this is the new study that I created for you, and this will be your goal. This is watercolor, and we'll be working with watercolor together, not to start with, but towards the end of our...
You defy, I don't even know what you defy defiance. You defy reality. Like anything that is grounded in the capability of humans to create stuff, you just don't.
They're apples.
When did you, it's like a photograph.
2 days ago. It took me an hour. And it will take Lori an hour one day to make these as well. This is her goal. This is what we're striving towards in her private lessons.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leonardo da Vinci.
The crackhead.
The crackhead. Leonardo the crackhead.
The crackhead. Or the chalkhead. So there you go. There's your sneak peek. And of course, tomorrow I will talk more about this and how it's completely not out of reach. This is what you will be making at the end of our journey with apples, which will probably be several lessons. Well, it will definitely be several lessons, but it won't be like an entire year. Probably after about 4 months, you'll be able to create something on par with this. And then we'll move on to other more interesting subjects like grapes and wine glasses and quail and rabbits and all that fun stuff that they used to put in still life in the Renaissance.
Right, yes. Man holding a weasel.
Yes, exactly. Sexy still life. So there you go. There's your...
Now, why, have you explained why Lori gets a private lesson? Like
yes, I did, because of the dragon fox deer.
Okay.
You were ignoring me once again.
I'm tech supporting.
And since, wait, I'm tech supporting today. I'm totally not. I just went into drawing and I stopped. But I used my buttons. I did it. I did my buttons. Since I'm doing teasers already, I will give you another one. This is something that I will show you in the next Tuesday tutorial next week. This is a page by Jennifer Zimmerman. It is signed. This is from her book, Bella Futura, which I really love that title, Bella Futura.
That's nice.
And it's full of these incredible images. Jennifer is very much into gemstones and stars, so a lot of her gemstones are drawn very precisely, like with all the facets exactly where they belong. And if you ever saw Jennifer coloring, like the work that she does on gemstones, I may have to redo this page because now I have serious insecurities about my coloring technique after having seen what she does. It's spectacular. Like she has such an attention to detail that it's out of this world. And Jennifer and I are collaborating. We will be doing, she already colored a page of mine. I sent her my Kevin the Peacock page and I got a photo of her coloring of it right before the show went live. So I didn't have a chance to save it to show you on the big screen. But I'm not sure if I want the cat out of the bag yet. I think we will wait for Jennifer
Who puts cats in bags?
Right, and who does that? Crinkle bags, maybe.
Oh, that's it.
That's a totally different
I don't know
story.
nothing about that.
So Jennifer's coloring, already colored a page of mine. I already colored a page of hers. So we will show you our complete finished works. And then we will each do a stream coloring the same page from the beginning with you guys live. And for my part, I will actually be doing this in reverse. I will do the fox as a galaxy effect. So the fox will look like she's made out of a galaxy with an orange background. That was somebody's idea. Tiffany, was that? I think that was Tiffany's idea with the Galaxy Fox. Brilliant idea, and I can't wait. I can't wait to do that. So next Tuesday tutorial will be this watercolor. This is entirely done in watercolor. This is on my regular tan-toned paper, the Strathmore 80-pound paper. And I did this with very heavy watercolor work. And as you can see, the paper does the same kind of a wrinkly effect on the back, but no bleeding through. And I could iron it out or flatten it out with books. I haven't done anything with it, just so that I can show you guys what actually happens to the page. That it's not actually that big of a deal. Like there's some wrinkling, but it's not affecting the quality of the art at all. And if I did have to showcase it, I would take the time to iron it out, no problem. And for
Wait.
What? Bring it back?
No.
What?
I've been meaning, there's this whole side chat going on. I have to tell you about this
Okay,
first.
okay.
MC has seen the new Widow set.
You saw the new Widow set.
They're called monarch.
Monarch, like butterfly?
Or like the king, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, sure. And
Well, just because he usually uses animals, like he has scorpion and cobra.
Okay,
and
then like a butterfly.
So probably
yeah.
butterfly.
Probably not like Elizabeth or whatever. They have dipped ends like the skin tones. Do you have any of those here?
I don't have one here. Yeah, I might have one. No, I don't.
No.
I lied.
So she's been like feeding little
Everyone
clues.
really loves the dipped ends.
Yeah, she's been feeding clues into the chat, and everyone's like going nuts.
Wow,
and I wanted
you're
to tell
like
you,
from
'cause
the future.
You're missing out.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. So now,
Yeah.
now we can go back to
Incredible. Okay, one last teaser, and then we'll get back to purple and wrap it up. This is what my Feather Wolf and Dragon Fox patrons will be learning how to do this Sunday on the 12th. The Dragon Fox and the Feather Wolves are meeting for our private gathering where I prepare a study of something that they all voted on. This month you guys voted on eye studies, close-up eye studies, so I drew this for you, and we will do it together again live in secret on Sunday, and of course non-patrons will get the edited recording of that stream a month later. So that's coming on Sunday. Feather Wolves, Dragon Foxes, do not miss this show. I know you guys always find out in the very last minute, despite all the warning that I give you. It's this Sunday. It's not the one after. It's this Sunday. So, Iselina, this Sunday. I'll see you there.
He posted it on Facebook 30 minutes ago. It's Monarch of the Glen. It's a stag.
It's a stag. Oh, it's very majestic.
That's cool. Iselina says she's not going to
Wow.
sleep through this one.
She's so devastated that she missed the last one. She's like, no, I've been waiting for it. But even though the links are active, remain active for my patrons forever, so they can always see the actual gathering that we had. And of course, a month later, I post an edited version of just the tutorial part. It's a special kind of a gathering that we have our very private atmosphere, and we have our inside jokes, all of which get cut out for the for the final publication. And it's quite a cool thing that we have going on. So that's this Sunday. And I think that's it for the announcements and the teasers. So I'm just going to keep working with this purple. Do you guys need me to go all the way around, or do you think this is?
I do.
Do you? Grown up. I'm like, really? Never mind. Well, I will keep working with this purple while we catch up on anything else that I may have missed in the stream, and then we'll call it done.
I'm like probably bright red.
Yes. You're like this color right here between purple and red.
Oh, no nachos for Adrian.
That's the worst.
No.
Actually, nachos after the show sound pretty good.
Small plate of nachos?
Yeah, small plate of nachos.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Oh, Iselina wants to know what's with the nachos thing. All right.
Yeah, do tell.
Let me school you. I don't know why I love nachos, and it's not like nachos. Like it's got to be Doritos and cheddar cheese, and really that's it. Like they don't have to be like salsa with like guacamole. No, just Doritos and cheddar cheese, and I don't know. It's something going back to my childhood. It's like the worst.
Well, sometimes you get muchachos.
With the chili.
Yeah, with the chili.
Well, that's different though. But it's not a requirement. Like
Right.
For every one time that I get chili nachos, when we actually make chili, there's 15 times that I get nachos. I just love them. Something about the cheesiness and whatever is in Doritos that make them so addictive.
That's totally a chemical.
They're just so deliciously satisfying. Melted cheese on Doritos.
Yes, it's very specific. With just some pepper, nothing else.
Yeah, I just really
black pepper.
I really like them. So I eat them probably like 4 times a week with lunch.
Why does my belt
And lunch-
not go around me
And
anymore?
lunch is usually like grilled cheese sandwiches with bacon, or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or occasionally leftovers from the previous night's dinner. But mostly it's grilled cheese sandwiches and nachos.
Yes, especially in winter. In
I'm a
winter,
grown-up.
because he's a grown-up. In winter, we eat pretty much only sandwiches for lunch. In the summer, when I have the garden going, we eat a lot of green stuff. But in winter, especially now that we go out grocery shopping every 5 weeks, so even when I buy fresh vegetables, because the garden's asleep now, it's winter, but we go out grocery shopping once every 5 weeks, and I'll buy fresh vegetables for a week, but after that it's back to frozen vegetables and pasta until we go shopping again. So grilled cheese sandwiches are the vegetable of winter. Okay. So I've prepared a couple of brown tones as well, but I don't think I actually need them. I think this purple is doing a fine job. I may go over just the outlines here with the dark brown afterwards, just to make it stand out even more. But I think it doesn't need a lot. Like the gradient that we created with the colors, with the red and the orange and the yellow, they're very strong gradients, and the effect is, I think, is very successful. And of course, here we don't have characters to block our view, so we don't get to practice the backlit effect. But if you do want to see how I did that with the cats being all backlit, I have the thumbnail on the bottom right of the screen. That's the video that you want to look for on my channel. I published it only on Tuesday, so it's very fresh, very recent. You can't miss it. Do go and check it out if you haven't seen it already, because it's a slightly different technique that I'm using here. And of course, I go into detail about the theory of the backlit characters. And also, the funny thing about this tutorial is actually it's featured on the Coloring Heaven new website, which is also linked in the video description. They've updated their website with a lot of cool new features, and they have a whole chapter now for video tutorials. So do check it out. Go to Coloring Heaven magazine website and see what they have new, because now it's more interactive. Before it was just like a list of the issues that they had published and a little bit about the artists. Now they have a lot of sections. They're still working on it. They're still adding more features, more interactive stuff, and they really want to get more into video. So the collaboration that I had going with them is I created this tutorial in one of the issues that I was featured in, and then they are also running this tutorial on their website. So if you go to the video tutorials section of Coloring Heaven, you will see my video up there, and you will see a bunch of others as well. And it's a really cool way to meet new YouTubers, new streamers that you may not know about, because we all have like 3 or 4 YouTubers that we follow. Even though we're all subscribed to like 20 to 40 people, we actually only ever hang out in 3 or 4 live streams. But there are other people out there who are doing what we do, and they just may not be part of our little community yet. They're just doing their own thing on their own, or they may belong to a different clique. And I think it's a great way to meet new people, to see other coloring strategies, and just see what else is out there. An interesting thing about viewing videos like that on the website, when you go to the Coloring Heaven website, the way that the videos are set up is you can watch them straight on the website. They will be in a smaller screen, but they'll play inside the website. But there is an option on the bottom of each video that says play in YouTube. Highly, highly, highly recommend and ask you for a favor to play it in YouTube for every single video that you watch, because the Coloring Heaven magazine website, they don't care if the video is streamed through them or through YouTube. Like, the option to watch it in YouTube is there. And if you follow that option, first of all, it's the only way that you'll be able to comment on the video. You actually have to watch it in YouTube. It's the only way that you'll be able to comment. It's the only way that you'll be able to click the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Like, you can't do all of that if you're just watching it in somebody else's website. And it's the only way that the person who made the video gets the views. Like, a lot of people who are watching these videos on the Coloring Heaven website they're getting the view, they're getting the experience of the video that I made, but I'm not getting the views. So it's like, thanks, Coloring Heaven, but I do still want my subscribers to watch my channel. But that's not true for.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is.
I don't think that's true because for the Rancher Academy, we embed those on a foreign site, but
Really?
we still get all of the views.
But then it has like the view on YouTube.
Yeah, that's just if
option.
you want like higher quality.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you're still getting the views for that, but
the thumbs
video,
up and the
all of the
comments.
YouTube experience is still better if you go directly to YouTube. Yeah, you'll get the views, but go to she invests a lot of time to make the videos high quality, and when they are embedded in another site,
they're a little bit smaller. Yeah. And you guys are already watching them on small screens. A lot of people are watching them on their phones and stuff. So watching it directly on YouTube is definitely a better experience. And I've followed some of the other videos there, and I met some new streamers that I didn't know about. That was a very cool plus for me.
I have something.
Okay, what is this something? It's like really warm here now. I think the fire is doing its job. What?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
There
that's
it is.
it. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow, you just totally teched that.
Yes, I did.
and you're so proud of it.
Yes, I am. That looks like an amazing set.
That looks so majestic.
Amazing.
And it's huge. It's 48 colors, in fact.
Yeah. So we'll have to do what we can do to get our hands on that, and we'll do a demonstration of...
Yes, I did promise Albert that I would do a proper test drive of them when I get my hands on them.
Oh, now they want me to like zoom in on it and stuff. I don't know if I can do
Oh, no. They want all the details of like the little pencils and stuff. Where did you find it? Is it from the website?
I'm not telling you. No, he posted it on his Facebook page.
Not telling you.
Yeah, so that's full screen. So that's all I can give you right now. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's more than I knew was possible. That's super exciting. That set looks totally sexy. I can't wait to get it.
Me too.
Very, 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 very excited. Sounds like the rain is done.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the rain flew over and it was like somebody like watered the roof with a hose for 4 seconds.
And then it's gone. Okay, I am almost done with this purple. Any final questions? Because once I'm done with this purple, I think we're quite horrifically over time.
Yeah, we're super.
This is like a 2-hour show all of a sudden.
But we got buttons.
We got buttons, and we haven't done a proper live stream in a while. We did the Space Force party, which was its own kind of madness.
Space Force.
But before that, it was 2 weeks before that we did a live stream. So I do enjoy them quite a bit. It's very difficult to stop. And since I'm so close to bringing this to a complete circle, it's such a rare occasion when you get to actually finish a coloring page on the show. I intentionally made this a little bit smaller and a little bit simpler than the original Cathedral Cats rose window for practice purposes, and also so that there's a chance that I might actually finish it live on the show for you guys to enjoy. And the other thing that we should probably talk about is this background, because I presented this page with the background already suggested, so that in the tutorial I talk about how important it is to establish the background, because the glow effect only comes across as realistic if you have a proper contrast set up. The rest of the room needs to be really dark, and only the center of the window needs to be glowing with white light, and whatever other colors you have in the glass, for it to really come across as a piece of glass inside, set in a wall and actually glowing, because it's lit from the other side. So the background does need to be dark. However, the background that I provided isn't enough. It's just a suggestion. You still should color over it with something. It can be watercolor, it can be pastels, it can be pencils. I printed this in black and white, and you see my printer is a little bit special. It always prints with a line on the side, so you can always tell my prints. If there's enough information on the page, there's always this white line, which kind of makes it look like an old film scratch. I don't actually mind it on this print at all. It's very, very specific to our machine. But I printed this in black and white, but the actual design is in sepia colors, so it's brown. So that your background, you have more flexibility on what color to choose for the background, because if it's just black, it's really hard to deal with, to turn it one way or another. You're kind of stuck with black. But I gave you brown so that you guys can layer it with more colors. And what I would do for the background, honestly, I would use watercolor. If you have the paper for it, I would use watercolor for the background because it's fast. You said a really, really strong color, and it's not boring because the background here is quite tedious, and there's no story here. You just need to establish this dark brown color, and that's it. So in the stained glass window, you have all these fun colors, and you're going around in a circle, and you can be thinking about different types of glass. You can be referencing photography. You can just be chatting with friends and enjoying the therapeutic nature of coloring something that's this geometric and this systematic. But the background, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's boring. Which is why I gave it to you in this form. So the other way that you can do it is color it with pencils. If you are coloring it with pencils, try to go around in a circle. If you need to turn your page for that, you can turn your page, but I like to actually use pencil strokes that are consistent with this direction to give you a nice kind of gradient with the texture that goes around the glass. Don't just pick a direction and go from left to right, like actually follow the shading in this type of a motion all around, and of course make sure that it is consistent. So make sure that the background is at least as dark as your darkest purple in this outline over here, or even darker. That will create the best effect. Right now my purple is actually deeper and brighter and darker than the background. So the background looks muted. It actually looks like a black and white movie, which is cute, but it's out of place now that the window is colored. So for this to really be complete, I would need to paint this background some other color that's deeper and darker. And also this white spill that I have over here, I would turn it reddish orange, going into whatever color you establish on the rest of the background, just like we did here. You see, it's not just solid brown all the way around. I have a little bit of a red spill that's a gradient that goes around it. But it's not yellow, it's not white, it's the closest color that you have to the edge, but very, very gently brushed out in all directions. And there you have it, white paper with a successful glow effect. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you learned something, tried new tricks. If you haven't had a chance to get this page yet, come to my Facebook group, Tom, print the page, and practice.
Iselina would like to know if Mungyo sticks would be okay for the background.
Yes, that would be absolutely perfect. Yeah, good idea. And it's safe on any kind of paper, so you're good.
Are you saying goodbye now?
Do they have any other questions?
They have thank yous.
Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying up late with this show.
The next time Lisa says that she can tell time, we all know it's not true. I was like, how long is the stream going to be? She's like, an hour.
An hour. I tried.
No, we stay for as long as you need us to stay. It's
It
just
was
so much fun hanging out
It
with all
was
of
so
you.
much fun. It's hard to stop.
Yeah, especially since we only do these every couple of weeks now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you.
That was the wind.
It was really loud and
See, the other thing about this hill is because of the way the hill is, we don't actually know what direction the wind is blowing because it like circles
It's
and
a
it goes
vortex.
this way. It's like we have this whole weird microclimate of microclimatiness. Anyway, thanks for coming.
Bye.
See you next time.